Hey guys, and today we're going to discuss the work of Dietmar and colleagues 2006. Now, first off, I want to say the things that I always say in these videos, namely, I know not all of you are interested in the psychology videos, and there are more tech videos coming soon, I promise. I'm just about to shoot a video later today on creating a social network in Drupal, so that should be a lot of fun. But for now, we're gonna do some psychology, and I also want to say this is not a study that's on the spec. I used to just cover the OCR A-level psychology specification, but because that's what I'm going to be tested on. I'm still going to be covering that because obviously I still need to do those studies and I still need to know them. But I've strayed off the beaten track of it and started looking at some other studies about some other completely different topics. Like I just shot a video not too long ago about anorexia nervosa, and also one about the elaboration likelihood model, which is a common thing that's used in consumer psychology to explain persuasion, and we don't do consumer psychology on the spec. So I've strayed off the beaten track of it, but that's okay because obviously I'm still learning the other studies. But today's going to be one of the videos where we stray off the beaten track, because today we're going to talk about whether exposure to stimuli Barbie dolls makes girls want to be thin. We all know. Well, I hope I don't know, but it's common knowledge pretty much that Barbie is one of the most popular dolls that's been around since, I believe, 1947, and it's obviously most common in a lot of young girls. They like to dress them up and play with them, and it's sort of an embodiment of a Western ideal of female beauty. Her body proportions are very, very thin, and according to Rogers 1999, 99% of households in the US own at least one Barbie doll. I find that a bit difficult to believe, but I don't know any details on that, because that's just cited in this research article we're going to be talking about. But that's what it says. So in 1999, 99% of households in the US owned at least one Barbie doll. So that should give you an idea of just how popular it is. Also, sort of linking to this idea, but just as some background, because if we're talking about body satisfaction, Barbie's so thin that if she was a flesh and blood woman, and her body proportions were that of an adult flesh and blood woman, her waist would be 39% smaller than the baseline requirement for anorexia nervosa for that particular height and those particular body proportions. The reference for that is Rentella and Mr. Jokey, 1992. So that is quite, I think, her body proportions, 39% smaller in the waist than a baseline for an anorexia nervosa patient. And this is what we're giving to our female children as sort of an ideal of female body image. Okay, so let's get into the study. The researchers wanted to compare but exposure to Barbie with exposure to a dog called M, who was released in 2003, I believe, and is an altogether more realistic and portrayal of female beauty. She's a US size 16, and as compared to the fact if Barbie was real, she would be a US size 2. So obviously that's not a realistic ideal to body, but M is a US size 16. So they wanted to compare exposure to M with exposure to Barbie and exposure to control images. So that's things like, in this study, clothes on hangers, sunny meadows with flowers, control stimuli like that. And who did they do it on? We'll talk about the details of how they did it in a minute, but who did they do it on? They did it on 162 girls between the ages of 5 and 8, and from 6 primary schools in East Sussex. Now, the ages of 5 and 8, if you're not familiar with the UK education system, between the ages of 5 and 8, that's year 1, year 2, and year 3 in the US education system, and they were from 6 primary schools around East Sussex in southern England. So those are your participants. The head teachers of all schools gave written consent for the study to be conducted. The parents also gave written consent for the study to be conducted, and the children were asked verbally for their consent. That's quite a rare thing. Normally, it doesn't say whether the children, particularly if they're very young like this, between the ages of 5 and 8, it doesn't say whether the children had to give their consent, but in this case they did. So in terms of ethics, we're doing pretty well so far. So they were each assigned to look at pictures of the size 16 doll that's been approved by the health authorities as embodying a realistic sense of beauty for a woman, or Barbie, or the control subjects, which were things like pictures of flowers, pictures of supermarket shelves, and such like. So, who was in each condition? You're going to have to excuse me while I look at my notes, particularly when we look at the results, because there's a lot of results to take into account. A lot of measures were taken in this. It was a pretty in-depth study. There were 55 of the 162 people were in the Barbie doll group, and 45 were in the non-Barbie doll group, and whatever's left after of 162 were in the control group. So So what happened? Well, two two measures were taken. A self-report measure of body esteem. That was, like I said, a, a, a self-report measure, and it was a shortened version of um a, a shortened version of another body esteem scale that was used by Mendelssohn 1996, was um developed by Collins. What it was six measures of body image with phrases such as I like the way I look, other people like the way I look, and I had to give because the year one pupils had only just started to read, they had to give a tick, a smiley face, a straight face, or a down face, meaning agree, ambivalent, or disagree. There were also then obviously these measures were taken after the exposure to the stimuli. To my knowledge, they didn't take measures of these findings before the exposure so that they could compare them, and maybe they should have done, but to my knowledge, they didn't. After that, after completing the body esteem questionnaire, they were given rows of two rows of female figures, and one row that they were asked to colour in the woman which represented their current body image, and the next row down from that they were asked to colour in the one that represented what they wanted to be, and then to get the measure of body dissatisfaction. The girl's actual body weight that she would have expected as an adult woman was subtracted from her. Sorry, her ideal body weight as an adult woman was subtracted from her actual body weight as an adult woman, and then what was left over was used as a measure of body dissatisfaction. It says, just as a few qualifying details, the all the measures were taken in school premises on a relaxed in a relaxed environment, and they were done in groups of no more than 3 people. So it was all kept confidential. Now, and they were also told it was not a test, and crucially they were told that the figure they coloured in for their actual body image could be the same as the figure they coloured in for their current body image. So that's an important distinction. How were the girls in these 3 different conditions exposed to
It's 11 hours.
the stimuli? Well, three picture books were created, and they were laminated and bound with six picture books, 6 pictures in each, and the girls were encouraged to look at them, and to make sure the story had meaning, that they were they were paired with the reading out of a story about a girl called Mira who was go, going to the shops and finding something to wear. So to make sure the images in the two experimental conditions had meaning, that was what was used. Six pictures in each picture book, and they were matched. They were matched as well as possible. One of the scenes was Barbie in a supermarket, and there was no image of the US size 16 doll that represented a better body image. There was no image of her in a supermarket, so where there was a picture of Barbie in a supermarket, the control booklet just had supermarket shelves in it. But as for there was no image of supermarket, so the previous image has just been in an outfit, as was the same for Barbie. So the next image after that was just in a different dress. So that could have affected the results, because obviously the pictures weren't exactly the same. So if we're thinking about reliability, it's not exactly reliable. His test took about 15 minutes, and like I said, it was done in a school building. Consent was obtained from everyone, and it was kept confidential, and they were told it was not a test. They were also thanked and debriefed afterwards, and told they could leave at any time. So in terms of ethics, we're pretty much covered all the way around. And we'll get into some results in a minute, but just so we're aware, when Susan Ive, who was one of the researchers, this was done by Dittmar, Halliwell and Ive. So when Susan Ive was reading a story to the girls, there was evidence that they were indeed engaging with the stimuli, because a lot of the girls apparently remarked on the dresses the dolls were wearing. So they obviously were engaging and indeed looking at the stimuli. So at least you haven't got reliability problems there. So let's get into the results. Well, I'm just actually going to talk about the overall results, because there's so many results. I'm not going to go into the results for each year group. I'm just going to give you the overall data for each condition, because I think we can garner enough from that. First we've got body esteem on that 6 question questionnaire, and I forgot to mention, I think that the questions such as "I like the way I look" were embedded in other questions about such things like other children my age watch the TV programs I watch, so that the focus wasn't entirely on body image. So in terms of ethics, we're doing pretty well here, really. But let's talk some results. The mean body image esteem for, so obviously in this case higher is better. The mean body esteem for, and I forgot to mention that the apparently it took, the whole exposure experiment took about 15 minutes for each child. So let's get into the results. The body esteem for people's choice of the Barbie dolls was 14.45, whereas the same for the M was 15.62. So that would suggest at least that's the overall mean that exposing a girl to M, because it's a realistic portrayal of body image, might actually help to improve their body esteem. So, and then the control group, who didn't receive any body-related stimuli, had a body esteem score of 14.96 on average. So, people who were exposed to the M actually had a higher body esteem than the control subjects. Obviously, you've got the usual problems with independent measure design, participant variables, all of the participants in the Barbie group could have just happened to have lower body esteem anyway, so that could account for the difference in results. But it was quite a sizable sample, so I think we can maybe rule out the likelihood of participant variables. So we got 14.45 body dissatisfaction for N, 14.45 body dissatisfaction for Barbie. Sorry, we've got 14.45 body esteem for Barbie, 15.62 for M, and then 14.96 for the control subjects. So, like I said, exposure to M did actually improve their body esteem on a short-term basis. And when we talk about evaluation points, some of which we've already covered, we'll definitely talk about the fact this is a snapshot study. So in this particular context, that might have had a big effect. But in terms of the exposure to the those who were exposed to the Barbie dolls had the lowest body esteem out of the group, 14.45, as opposed to 15.62 and 14.96. Let's talk about body dissatisfaction. So this was gained by subtracting their ideal body size as using the pictorial measures that were used by Mendelssohn 1996. They so let's talk about body dissatisfaction. Well, for girls exposed to Barbie, their happiness with their happiness with their actual body size was less the Barbie conditions, but again the M conditions were much more than the control group. So this video is getting long. I'm going to stop it here, but let's just have a quick recap. 162 girls from 6 primary schools around East Sussex. They were all given two measures: a pictorial measure and a self-report measure of body image. They were exposed to either M, Barbie, or control stimuli in books, bound picture books that were laminated. After the study, they were all thanked and debriefed, and they did indeed find that but exposure to Barbie doll did indeed reduce short-term body esteem, but exposure to M can actually help your short-term body esteem. So it's worth noting that the some researchers found that you can your body image ideas start developing from the age of 6, so that's why they choose between 5 and 8. Let's talk about some evaluation issues as well. Participant variables, like I said, some independent measures design. So because it's different people, you can't control all the variables. There's ethics is very good in this research. They got informed consent. They got consent from the girls. They debriefed them. They told them they could leave at any time. We've got pretty much all the ethics covered here. In terms of population validity, obviously this is only a representative of girls between 5 and 8, and it's only representative of girls attending these 6 schools in the UK. Usefulness that it's highly useful if we can encourage parents to adopt M as a role model instead of Barbie. Then maybe we can reduce body dissatisfaction in young girls. So in terms of usefulness, it's probably quite good. Anyway, that was Dittmar, Halliwell and Ive, 2006, evaluating whether Barbie makes young girls want to be thin. The other evaluation issue I wanted to talk about that I just skipped over is the issue of the fact that this is only a snapshot study, so all the measures were taken a very short time after the exposure to the stimuli. So the negative effects that Barbie had on the young girl's body image might not have lasted. So this might only be representative of a very short period of time. But yeah, that's Dittmar, Halliwell and Ive, 2006. Body dissatisfaction in young girls as a product of the Barbie doll. Thanks for watching this video, guys. More videos in the future. More tech videos in the future. I'm just gonna shoot some today. Thanks for watching this video, guys. You can visit my website address. It's hanging out down below. tom-rogers.com. I've got a whole bevy of interesting stuff coming up there. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Bye, guys. That was good, wasn't it? Let's face it.
Why did you use the word bevy? Of all the words you could have chosen,